What's up, everybody? We're back with another episode of Bullish Chips, where we use a proven and repeatable strategy to make money every day. This channel focuses on the Bullish Semiconductor ETF, which goes by the ticker symbol SOXL. But our charting and our trading method can be used with any company that's publicly traded in the U.S. stock market. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and that notification bell. That way you are notified whenever we release bonus content. We do release nightly and weekend videos Monday through Thursday and once on the weekend, but from time to time we release some bonus content as well. Our nightly and weekend videos focus mostly on identifying triggers and targets for trades ranging from like scalps and intraday trades to long-term swings and leaps. So if you do want a deeper dive into exactly how we set up our charts and trading levels, check out the bonus content on our YouTube page. For more information about the strat, which is the base of our trading and charting method, there's also more free information in the description of this video. Let's look at today's agenda, where we will recap today's price action. Then we'll zoom out a bit to look at the week, month, quarter, and year like we always do. And we'll zoom back in to set our 4-hour markers and our triggers and targets for tomorrow, along with a review of the triggers and targets for the week, month, quarter, and year. So looking at today's intraday action, we can see that we've got kind of a busy chart from this on the scalping chart here. We've got the previous high of day. We've got overnight low, opening print, previous low of day. I'm sorry. We have previous high of day, overnight high. Then we have our opening print, previous low of day, and overnight low. So those are our major 4-hour numbers, 4-hour levels. We do have some honorable mentions here. We've been talking about for a little while how we're coming to this convergence of broadening formations and levels of resistance. We'll see that as we zoom out here, but some of those levels are here. This 40.06, which is last week's high. We have the market maker's expected move high at 42.22. If you're not familiar with that number, go ahead and check out either our weekend or our Thursday night videos. Any of those dive deeper into where we get that market maker's expected move from. And we have the week flip right here at 42.83, and that is what flips the week red or green. So we're below that line at this point in time. So the week is technically green. I'm sorry, it's technically red since we're below the line. We're right at the line, but we are below it, so it is red. Once we get above that line, the week flips green, and that comes into play with the time frame continuity. Keeping in mind that in the upper left hand part of the chart here, where we've got the day, the week, the month, and the quarter. This is a small enough time frame that the year isn't showing up here, but we can see how basically everything is green except for the week right now. So we flipped that week green, and we're back in full time frame continuity to the green or to the upside, which gives a lot more momentum to the bulls. So those are our major levels, the 4-hour markers, and then the honorable mentions. We do have these Fibonacci's here. These are fib extensions of the October 2nd gap up that was last Thursday. And these levels have come into play quite a bit in the last few days. You can see how they came into play today. So we've decided to go ahead and keep these on here and use them in our intraday trading. So again, if you're familiar with this channel, then this is nothing new to you. But if this is your first time watching, the general rule that we have for scalping intraday, or especially at the beginning of the day, is any higher lows above opening print, we're looking to get into calls. Any lower highs below opening print, we're looking to get into puts. So we can see today we had basically just straight up action from the get-go, right? We pushed slight down for a minute or two, I think. This is a 5-minute chart. And then we pushed to the upside. We came up and we got the higher low above the opening print. So we went ahead and entered calls. And you can see how through the rest of the day, we just continued to move up sideways, kind of form a little flag here, and then get the squeeze at the end of the day to almost finish the week green. So depending on when your expiration dates were, what your strike prices were, you would have either exited at the end of the day, or you left some runners to swing overnight. It's more towards the top of the most recent move, so I don't know that I would be entering new positions for too far out expirations with any real weight to that position just yet. it was definitely a good day to test the waters, and kind of grab a couple of them and see where things go from here, because we did get the higher low on the 4 hour, and looks like we may get the higher low on the day. So personally, I would wait for the day to trigger to get into anything, November and further out. Looking to hold for a long time, because again, we are kind of at the top of the latest move, and it's not always best to buy at the top of a move. So we do have a lot of momentum, and we are in an uptrend. So I'm not saying don't buy at the top of the move, but just be selective in when you buy. And so for me to have a little bit more confidence in that move, I would like to wait for the higher high on the day, which would come pretty quickly after locking in the higher low. Could all happen within a couple of minutes with the way SOXL moves. So nearing that point of entering some more longs. We've got these 2 hourly downtrend lines that we've got here, this light blue dashed line. But we're able to break through those, again, break back through this market maker's expected to move high, and almost flip the week green. So almost actually pulled off a bullish engulfing candle, just a few cents short here, right? If we would have got above previous high day, we would have definitely done that, just barely, because we did barely wick below the previous low a day. So we have the failed 2 down situation on the day. If we look at it from the day candle, let's go ahead and zoom out a little bit here. So here we have this 11-week sideways action that we had between 24 and 28, popped up above 29, a little intraday retest of that level, pushed up some more, got a higher low on the no, there wasn't one on the week, but basically got still got, even though it was a lower high, it was still continued the uptrend, because we were able to make a higher high and just created a broadening formation here. So it's just a broadening formation within the uptrend, so able to keep that uptrend. So again, if we're able to push 2 up tomorrow, that locks in this as a higher low from the day perspective, and we've only got a little bit of ways to go to lock in a higher high as well. So that just continues the uptrend. So tomorrow would be a great day to enter into some more long-term contracts, January 26, March, May 26. They don't have June's out yet still. If you want to get January 27s, I've already started to enter into some January 28s. So and tomorrow would probably be a good day to start to test the waters. We do have this weekly broadening formation and last week's 50% level that could cause a little bit of sideways action, but we've got quite a bit of momentum. We are a little overbought, so the sideways action could turn into downside action as well, to maybe test this higher low here if we were to make a lower high to go fill this gap or something like that. And then we would have to watch out for some type of lower high and what would start a downtrend. But for now, we're still in this uptrend again. If we go 2 up tomorrow, it's pretty easy to lock in this higher low and higher high. We've got this gap up above and some further Fibonacci extensions above 50 that we can look for as targets. From the week perspective, week and up, we're looking pretty great. Let's get a cleaner chart. So from the week, we were able to push back up, hammer back up, as some people call it. It's more of a doji right now, but push back up, and any more push up Thursday and Friday gives us a hammer, excuse me, and flips the week back green. And again, that just continues this uptrend. We're looking really bullish. So we're able to make these higher highs. We're looking for the next higher high. Oh no, I'm sorry. We reached all the higher highs on the week perspective. So it's rolling into the monthly and quarterly strats at this point. So let's bring up the month. We'll take off the weekly broadening formations. And again, we fulfilled this three combo 2 down, combo 2 up. And we have also fulfilled this kind of messy combo 2 down, combo 2 up, triggering a pretty messy 1 combo 2 down, combo 2 up. But that is what has triggered, and you can see it's kind of no man's land in here. A lot of kind of thin structure from the week standpoint and up. If we look at it from the quarter perspective, right, we've triggered a much cleaner 1 combo 2 down, 2 up, right? So we got the 1 combo 2 down, combo 2 up that's triggered above 36.15. And again, the target for that move is the high of this candle, which is that 70.08. And as long as we're above this 36.15, then the strat is still in play, and we remain bullish rolling into the year, where we've, again, what they call hammer up. We've created a hammer from what was a 2 down on the year, triggering the 1, 2 up, 2 down. Looking like we're going to put in a higher low from the year perspective, so that would continue the uptrend. And if we finish at the top of the candle at the end of the year, it makes it that much easier to it makes it that much easier to go 2 up next year. That triggers the 2 down, 2 up with the target a magnitude of the high of the candle to the left of the 2 down, which again is this 70.08. So from the week on up, especially if we're able to flip that week back green, we're looking very bullish. And just looking at the 4 hour and the day perspective as pullback buy entry points. So again, just looking really bullish. That's our zoomed out view. So let's zoom back in and go to our scalping chart. Oops. Yep, that's the one we want. And kind of talk about how we'll play tomorrow. Now, I have not moved the overnight high and overnight low to the most recent levels, just because they're going to continue to move overnight. But for now, we have them where they are, and we've got our 4 hour markers here. 4 hour markers here. We had a huge day today. There we go. Of our overnight high, previous high a day, previous low a day, and our overnight low. So those are the major 4 hour markers. And again, just the general rule is higher lows above opening print, we're getting into calls, lower highs below. So if we open here, we get some action, we push up, hit this market maker's expected move high and get a push down, but then get a higher low above this opening print level, then we want to enter calls. First targeting this previous high a day, and the second target will be the overnight high, wherever it's at. And then again, if we get we opening print here, we get a push to the downside, we get a little bit of a bounce, but then we get a lower high here, we want to enter puts. And our first target would be overnight low, wherever it's at, and previous low a day. Whichever one comes first is first, whichever one comes second is the second target. So really simple. That's the repeatable strategy that you can use every day to make money. You just need to stay disciplined in where your entries and exits are, and it's kind of hard to beat, right? So that's what we've got from an intraday perspective. Let's look at, or from a scalping perspective, let's look at it from more of an intraday perspective. The 4 hour chart, we've got a 3-2 up. So that does bring to the table a possible 3-2 up, 2 down situation tomorrow if we get price action to the downside. Let me see what the, so overnight, okay, so we're up 1.5% overnight. So it doesn't look like, unless we just get a failure of all the overnight action, it doesn't look like we'll be getting the 2 down tomorrow in that first 4 hour. But just to make sure that we stay ready for whichever way price action goes, right? We've got the 3-2 up. If it goes 3-2 up, 2 down, clear entry at the low of this 2, and the exit is at the low of the 3. So entry specific levels will be 41.77, the low of this candle, and the exit would be 38.68. So pretty big move in the face of an uptrend. So again, we'll have some intermediate target points on the way down. So this 41.20 and 40.06. Those are going to be some levels that we look at as possible bounce points tomorrow, putting in a higher low on this 4 hour perspective like we've already done here. We don't immediately need to go make a higher high to keep the uptrend in motion. As long as we just continue those higher lows, then we could form like a flat top and get a flat top breakout once we've had enough higher lows to get price pinched up against this level. We could get that breakout, but then even if we don't get this higher high here, we get a higher low, then we go make a higher high again, the uptrend is still intact. So any price action to the downside tomorrow morning isn't the end of the world. Make sure you capitalize off of it with some puts there, and Just get ready for a possible bounce. If it doesn't hit any of the target points and bounce, then we just continue to follow price action to the downside, right? We've got that gap to the downside. We still haven't fully retested last week's 50% level. We've got kind of close, but we still haven't fully tested it. So, it's perfectly reasonable to think that there could be more downside action tomorrow, simply because we didn't make this higher high on the 4-hour. If we do get action to the upside, then it's just a two up continuation, and then we use our Fibonacci extensions as the targets. We'll go over the specifics there here in a minute in our notes. From the day perspective, so we've got the failed failed 2 down today, so which basically means we went 2 down, so we went lower than yesterday's low, but we finished green, so it failed to push down, right? So if we get the if somehow, overnight, maybe some news gets announced or something gets revised or something, right, that pushes price action back to the downside, we open up maybe in the middle or, lower part of the range tomorrow and we push down, we could get a two down continuation, which is really more of a continuation of this 3-2 up combo 2 down. So the first target would definitely be the top of the gap, which is the low or the bottom of this 3, which is 37.62. But we would be looking for a possible gap closure here, right? There's not a big gap to close, but enough to still play for. If we get price action to the upside, that triggers a 2 down, 2 up. Magnitude isn't very high, very large. It's the high of this candle here, this 2 up, 43.37. But again, we've got some fib extensions as well as this gap to the upside that we can use as targets. So let's just go into the notes at this point and look at the specific numbers, right? So this is for Thursday, October 9th. There will be 56 trading days left in 2025. Tomorrow on October 9th. Previous close, which is today's close, is 42.78. So we're still just barely red on the week. So to flip green, we have to hit 42.83. But the month, the quarter, and the year are green. These are the levels that you would have to hit to flip them red. Again, we've got the market makers expected move of plus or minus $3.99, giving us that range of 42.22 and 34.24. We know where our gaps above and our gaps below are. So on the 4-hour, if we do trigger to the downside again, that's a 3-2 up, 2 down, triggering at 41.77. Target these intermediate targets before we get to the magnitude, because it is such a big move in the face of a pretty strong uptrend. We've got these intermediate targets of 41.07, 40.53, 40.06, and 39.32. Again, the magnitude for the move is 38.68. If we get price action to the upside, it's just it's a failed 2 down. This is wrong. This is a 2 up continuation, triggering at 39.60. Target is 43.37, 43.80, and 44.22. Wait a second. This is not right. Why is that not right? 42.90. Yeah, that's this. I apologize again for that. There we go. So on the 4-hour to the upside, 2 up, triggering at 42.94. Targeting 43.37, 43.80, and 44.24. That's the 4-hour. Apologies for any confusion there. Just to be clear, to the downside would be a 3-2 up, 2 down, triggering at 41.77, ultimate target 38.68, and there are your intermediate targets, possible bounce points. And to the upside, it would be a 2 up continuation, triggering at 42.94, targeting 43.37, 43.80, and 44.24. All right. On the day, the day chart. So, more of a day trade, overnight swing, maybe a couple night swing. If we get price action to the downside, again, that triggers the 3-2 up combo 2 down. Trigger is at 38.68, so quite a ways from where we closed. But if it does trigger, it has the intermediate targets of 38.14, the magnitude of 37.62, and an extended target of 36.82. If we get price action to the upside, it is a failed 2 down, 2 up, triggering at 42.94. Magnitude of that move is 43.37. So we've got the extended targets of 43.80, 44.59, and 45.13. All right. We've already looked at the week, month, quarter, year chart, so I won't go back over those and drag this out any further. We know that we have kind of hammered up on the week where it is a doji, but very close to flipping green. possibly creating a green hammer. We are still in force with the 2 up, 2 up, because we are above the 40.06 level. We've already reached that first target of 41.19, looking for 43.80, and then 46.79 as a big time target there. If it does reverse and we get 2 red days tomorrow and Friday, and we do happen to make a red 3 on the week, which bearish engulfing candle, that would trigger at 33.57, first target 33.18, 32.76, and 32.39. So don't think that that's going to happen. Quite a ways to go to get to that trigger. I'm looking just for more upside. Looking for the 43.80, 46.79 is pretty far out, but that gets us above. I'll just go back to the chart real quick so I can show you. Week. That gets us back above the 50% of last year, right? So that's a pretty major point of inflection, and that would be a big hurdle to get over. So from the month perspective, we also are still in force with the 2 up, 2 up. It triggered at 35.49. We reached that 41.19. Now looking for that 43.80, 46.79, 48.79, and ultimately 50, where that gap is. On the quarter, it triggered the 2 down, combo 2 up. Initially at the beginning of the quarter, we reached that magnitude of 36.15, but that did then trigger the 1 combo 2 down, combo 2 up on the quarter, which has the ultimate target of 70.08, but we have these intermediate targets we've already hit here, 38.89, 42.04, but we're still looking for the 44.54, 46.79, 48.79, and then that 50 with the gap close. Not saying that we're gonna even hit 50 this month. I'm sorry, this quarter, because although it's very close, again, it's pretty easy for SOXL to move to the downside, right? We saw that just with yesterday's movement alone, and then again with today's movement back to the upside. It's a high beta ETF, so if the right things happen, or I guess wrong things happen that cause the market to go down, or chips specifically, that 50 could still be kind of a far ways away, because again, we've got to work through that 50% of last year, right? So from the quarter perspective, month perspective, week perspective, everything's still looking very bullish. The year perspective, we've talked about again how we have created an actual green hammer on the year, so things have turned around quite a bit, and we're setting up for a bullish 2 down, 2 up reversal starting next year. So there you have it, the triggers and targets for, we did the intraday scalping stuff on the chart, but we've got here in our notes the 4 hour, the day, the week, the month, the quarter, and the year. I hope everybody has enjoyed today's video. Again, just trying to pack in as much information as it can without dragging things out too much. But if anybody has any suggestions or has any questions, please let me know in the comments, or I have part of my team watches the comments as well. So if they're able to answer the question, they will answer it as well. But anyways, like I say every night, basically, because I truly mean it, I think it does really help. Make sure you get plenty of rest tonight. That way you can wake up refreshed, clear-headed for the market open. And I look forward to trading with you tomorrow.